Ladies and gentlemen, greetings from Somerville. Exciting, very exciting episode today, live from Las Vegas. Well, we're doing it live. It won't be live maybe when they hear it, but with Eddie Jayy, Las Vegas native.
Yes,
Eddie
sir.
Jayy, born and raised?
Yes, sir.
I love it. So I was so excited to do this because I always try to look for unique angles on people, different stories, situations. And I said, boy, I come here. I've been working in Vegas since 2003, performing. And so I have kind of a different point of view than most people. A lot of people come for the weekend, go crazy, leave. I come for a week at a time or so. I feel like I know the place a little better. But nobody knows it like someone who was born and raised here. And the difference to me was, it's just hysterical. I mean, everyone comes flying into Vegas to go nuts. And I wanted to hear what it was like to actually be from this place. So for our audience, give us a sense. You are in your 20s, am I going to ask?
Yeah, 27.
All right, 27 years old. Yeah. Born in Las Vegas. Give us a little background, what that's like. What area you were born in?
So I was born in like the just off the strip. I lived over. I don't know if you're familiar with like where like Palace Station is over there off of like Rancho and Oakey area.
I do know that, yeah.
So I grew up kind of in like the central part of town, but I spent a lot of time like way north, like in kind of the hood part of town. I had a lot of friends over there, so it's weird. It never ceases to amaze me, no matter where people are from, and no matter how progressive society gets with social media and people's ability to like learn about different cultures and places, it never ceases to amaze me how many people ask me if I live in a hotel on the strip. We get it all the time, and I hear it from our hostesses at the comedy club, and everybody. They always go. People go, "Oh, so do you live in a hotel? Do you fly in for work?" Yeah, I private jet every day.
Are there supermarkets in town?
It's so weird. It's this weird bubble that people have this idea of like Vegas being just like a completely isolated one street, 5 blocks, just the strip.
That's all anybody knows is this. Las Vegas is the strip, and then there's an airport, and that's No, and I think that for the most part, I mean that's what you see on television, and that's what you know. And I remember hearing, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel who's from here, and so I remember hearing the first time I ever heard that. It's like, I was one of those idiots. Like I didn't know anyone was actually from that place. I thought everyone went there.
Everyone's
on the weekend.
a transplant. Exactly. And somebody gets left behind, and then they start a family, and it's the same thing. It's just a big cycle of just leaving people here.
So, but there are regular, normal suburbs and schools, and there's a whole world out there and
a whole different economic system, and like tons of again, it's probably like any other, not major city, but like semi-large city in America where you have the primary downtown area, which would be the strip for us, and then you've got the higher class areas of town, middle class, low income. Like it's very interesting. It's all, and there's a ton of suburban life out here. Absolutely.
Now that we're going to listen, that was just the doorbell of the comedy club. We're in the green room at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club here at the MGM Las Vegas. And so we might have some visitors, some people passing through as we're doing it. That was the doorbell. You feel like you're on a sitcom here. Like you got a new guest, a new person, a new crazy neighbor comes in. Because
also this guy flew in for work too.
He just flew in to work for the night, and then he'll get helicoptered back
to his city.
Now Eddie is the manager here at the comedy club, and so he's not only born and raised, but also lives, works, has a real perspective on the people who come here, and that has got to be fascinating. Most of my friends who come to Vegas, bachelor parties, crazy weekend, divorce, whatever the reason, you've seen these knuckleheads just come flying into town, and losing their minds and losing their money. Now, how does that go when you're born and raised here? At what point did you start partying like a normal teen kid sneaking in the woods?
I'd say it's not a whole lot different because like the strip itself is hard to kind of crack that. Like infrastructure from a young age, you can't really just kind of sneak into nightclubs.
Sure,
but
probably harder here than
absolutely. But it was about the same as every other kid, probably right around like 14, 15, and then But by the time I turned 21, you're so familiar with the city, the luster of it wears off very fast. You go out and you're like, oh, so that's a nightclub, and you get another one, you're like, it's exactly like the last one, and like the bars. Oh, it's another $15 drink. Okay, I get it. It's like kind of all the same thing.
I believe it. Yeah. Yet at the same time, you probably know a bunch of people at that point, right? So
that helps.
You could network a bit.
That helps.
Get in the side door.
Absolutely. That's one of the things I think that is weird. That I think that people kind of have lost over the years with the city is that it was such a city that was built on kind of that kind of mob mentality,
Absolutely.
money handshake kind of city, and you've kind of lost that, where it's like the takeover, the Las Vegas nightclub scene takeover has changed all that. Where the clientele that comes into the city is younger. They're not, I say younger, they're about my age, they're nightclub goers, and there's not a whole lot of impetus on, tipping, taking care of, building those connections.
Absolutely.
The only connections they have are who their nightclub promoter is.
And then their phone, all their Instagram followers.
Exactly.
It's less personal. Well, that's that's an interesting thing, and they we've seen that, I think, in the comedy side too. As comedians, just there was more of a network in general, and then all of a sudden everyone's become more autonomous, more about their social media.
Sure.
But for particularly for the younger kids in their 20s who really like the clubbing, you were saying that's become. Really, it's gotten to be a huge scene here in Vegas.
Oh yeah,
the clubbing. Yeah.
It sucks up, I'd say, 80% of the business for about 5 months out of the year.
Wow. Summer months or
spring through now, until the end of October.
Okay.
So you've got day club, nightclub, and this crowd will come in, and you got festival season that rolls through here as well. So between conventions and nightclubs and day clubs, it's and to your point of just the craziness that you see, like a normal Vegas weekend, you're liable to see just about anything.
Yeah.
But if you're walking through high traffic areas of where day club goers are, and the day drinking, and then they sleep for an hour, and they go back out and they party all night, and they sleep for 2, and they go back.
Lord.
It's just a dumpster fire, man. It's just waiting to happen everywhere.
Well, and I saw it. I'm staying over at the Signature Towers this trip, and it was 10 a.m. yesterday, Saturday morning. I'm just sitting there going, what is that? That's that pulsing sound. What is that noise?
Is that Republic?
Is that someone next door? Is that something? You open the curtain and there's an entire pool
day club just going on.
Drinking, partying, and oh my god! And I can't imagine. I worked at a daytime beach club in the Hamptons when I first quit my real job to become a comedian, and we used to have people coming and raging all day, then not only drinking a lot, but doing whatever they had, little side pills in their pockets or whatever. Something, a world I was not privy to. But I knew that, by the end of the day, that someone was going down and paramedics were coming in. It was kind of crazy. Yeah. So I imagine, add the heat, the dehydration of Vegas and everything. Yeah. It's got to be...
And it's a weird... Okay, so being a local, I think it's a weird dynamic, right? Because... that's your primary revenue source, right? That's your city's financial infrastructure. But when you're surrounded by it every single day, it's hard to remain empathetic towards the people that are paying your bills. Essentially, so it's kind of weird. It's a weird dynamic, Well, the whole city's just raging 24/7, and you don't see the side of things that the employees and the staffs and everybody have to go through, while we're dealing with. People come raging from the day club, and then they throw up in your comedy club, and then they look at you like you're the idiot. Clean it up.
Yeah.
What did you think was going to happen?
Serve me,
exactly.
Yeah,
so
and that is true.
Thing.
If you went somewhere else, if you went to, Vegas just has that thing of no rules, anything goes. I think as people come in with that mindset, whether or not it's true or not. Obviously, there are rules. There's laws. There's
oh man, the laws is a weird one. That's my favorite part, and there's people who for some reason they think that drugs are completely legal here.
Right.
You can do them anywhere, like it's Amsterdam.
Right.
Or this is the red light district, and that portion of it is legal as well. And it's no, you can't do that.
And technically, prostitution not even legal.
Not in Las Vegas. You can go out to Pahrump.
Right.
Where and that I can't even imagine.
Is it really called Pahrump?
It is.
It says rump in the name.
Pahrump, yeah. But that has happened. People have I've had customers will be walking through the MGM, and I had a guy one time flag me down and go, Sir, excuse me, I need security. A prostitute just robbed my room. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, because if I go get security, you understand that you could get arrested for that. She's gone, and you could be arrested for that. And I've seen people try to do lines of drugs on our tables in the comedy club.
Are you kidding me?
That's happened before. And you go up to me and you go, you can't do that. You need to leave. And they look at you and go, well, what?
Well, what? Right. I'm in Vegas.
I'm having a good time.
It's
weird.
I'm in Vegas. Anything goes.
It's weird. But there is kind of an endearing uniqueness as well about that, where, I split time in LA as a musician, so I'm back there and then I'm back here. And the one thing that I do miss when I'm not here is that kind of manic personality that the city has, where it's 24/7 and it's just always going, and you can always count on little irksome things to take place in your day, and you kind of get used to that. It's like, I would imagine like living in a different city that has its own personality. Like you're from New York and you're used to seeing certain things where you're like, oh, I can't believe. But then you get away from the city and you're like, I kind of miss that.
I miss it so much. I miss, yep.
So that's how it is out here.
The anger on the subway.
The Asian tourists who just stop in the middle of the walkway and stare at the ceiling while I'm trying to get money from the cage.
Now, does it, like you guys, we start generally on Monday, we perform for 7 nights. We start Monday, we go through Sunday night, and for comics, we've talked about it, it's like you're fun, you're excited, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're killing it, by Thursday you're getting tired. Friday, everyone starts storming the city. Everyone comes flooding in, and you're like, oh, I'm not ready for this at all. I was just starting to, like, I'm getting tired, and now the whole new energy and wave of people. Is it the same for you guys?
I'd say for me, and I'd feel like from the cocktail servers that are friends of mine and bartenders that are friends, we all kind of feel the same way, which is like, your Monday of the week, whatever day of the week you start working, you're normally a little bit more empathetic than by your Friday, where it's like, get out of my room. Like, just there's no 3-strike rule. It's just, you're out.
You're out. You're done.
And don't talk to me. I'm calling security. You're 86.
Have you had any real extreme examples, any problems in the club or elsewhere? The friends that you know have had, anyone been difficult or just crazy or over the top? Or
we've had a few incidences here at the club, which is so surprising to me that of all the showrooms in this hotel specifically, that we have the most ours are the most electrifying, is what security says. Of like, you can kind of know what you're getting in the other showrooms. In the comedy club, for some reason, it's just this weird thing where people, I don't know if they feel just empowered because of its comedy and they think it's interactive.
Yeah,
we get stuff. I almost got into a fight with a midget one time.
Oh, jeez. I believe they're
a little person. Excuse me. Yeah, I almost got in a fight with a little person one time. He tried to fight me, and he actually had to be, as strange as it sounds, he had to be apprehended, which didn't take much, but for just talking and being insubordinate, and then it just escalated. And then he's chest bumping me and head butting me outside.
How was he? How does he get into your chest?
It was a strange situation. We've had people who just go, day drinking all day, and then they just get crazy in here. I'd say bachelorette parties are the worst, and you can almost pinpoint. I feel like that's kind of probably universal anywhere in the country.
And true with comedy clubs, every comic dreads that.
Here, though, it's just the tiaras and the sashes and the dresses that don't fit and the whole nine, and just the look at me, I'm in Vegas, like.
Well, I'm the show. I should be the show.
I think that the one thing that I see that's consistent, no matter where you go in the city, because the majority of the city is industry workers.
Yeah.
There is a cynical intolerance that we all kind of have, this very like jaded, budding anger that is like always like at the edge of boiling over constantly, just because of that. Like I used to drink and have a good time, and then you start working on the strip, and your tolerance for even your friends
just
goes, you're like, I can't go out with you. You're a mess. Like you're the type of person that I would have to kick out of my showroom. So it's like a weird thing. Vegas is just it's a different animal, man.
And generally locals don't go out on the strip, correct?
No, we try to stay as far away as we can. You really can't get a local out to the strip unless they're getting comped.
Right, a comp or a big show they want to see. Right, someone big comes to town.
Sure,
which I imagine would be one of the neat things about living here. You have some of the top entertainment all over the world in town. You really want to see an act.
Concerts for sure they'll come out for, but other than that, it's kind of hard to get them out here. We got a cool little Fremont Street's fun, and but even that's pretty expensive now.
Yeah, last time I was down there, actually, I went wherever I went down or to hang out. The parking, that I was like, oh, this is no longer. I thought this was the off the strip-ish kind of thing. But there are great places off the strip that like casinos that are catered to locals.
Okay, so you got a bunch of local casinos, like the Station casinos, like Green Valley Ranch, Red Rock, South Point, which is a great comedy show over there. And those ones you do see a lot of locals go there consistently. Okay. They have great local like points and memberships and stuff like that.
Right.
Cheap food, cheap drinks.
Right.
They're their own little and they're weird. They're like you have neighborhoods, casino right in the middle, and then nothing, just neighborhoods, strip, and then it's like it's weird. They're like these little pockets of like wherever the community is, we'll just plant a station casino right in the middle of it, and all the locals in that area will go to it.
And a 24-hour gym. That's the other thing that always made me laugh about this. The first time I ever heard of or seen a 24-hour gym was Las Vegas. And of course, people are getting off at all hours and work, and they want to go work out. People who are doing overnight dealing and the casino work. Yeah, so I was like, that's the crazy. And it was packed.
And it's the. I talk to my friends about this all the time. You get spoiled with that aspect of it because the city is so nonstop.
Sure.
You go anywhere else on vacation or anything, and you're like, "What do you mean it's closed at 10 o'clock?
Right.
The gym's closed, the restaurants are closed. Like
what are you talking about?
I just had lunch 2 hours ago.
Exactly.
So it's kind of a weird dynamic. You get a little spoiled out here, and you can get amazing food out here.
Absolutely.
All around the clock.
2 in the morning, sit down to a huge steak.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, on that note, something we talked about this week is the other side of that is the strange change that was been made that no longer is there room service 24 hours a day in these casinos, and that stunned me. Vegas has changed. I know it's gotten more corporate. That's life. It happens. But that was, I thought, a particularly odd thing. And that to me was very Vegas. 24-hour room service is just annoying. And I remember it's on the weekends it is now. And I'm not even a guy who orders room service at 4 in the morning, but I like to know that I can. And
I think that's the thing is a lot of people, they're paying these astronomical prices, right, for rooms and drinks and all this other stuff. And then they start one by one kind of weaning out little things that you expect from Vegas. That's a little tricky.
That's it. No, it's an interesting thing. Now, the flip side of that is I've never seen a place that does a better job of adapting and keeping up with the time. So I come here to perform roughly every 6 months. I'm here. And one of the great things about that is I have some perspective. I like wandering the casinos. I like seeing what's new, what restaurants, what slot machines are in there. And I always know if I'm there and I see something that's a sluggish area or kind of a quiet thing or nothing really happening, when I come back in 6 months, that's not going to be there anymore. And Vegas does that better than, I grew up, near Atlantic City where it's an exercise in mismanagement and just couldn't have been one worse from the time they had legalized gambling. And there's no reason that it shouldn't be competitive with Vegas. They had they had everything that Vegas had plus the longest boardwalk in the world in an ocean. Granted they have winters, but other than that, and they just screwed it every which way. You guys, every time I'm here, if that was a quiet area, it's no longer an area. It's now a restaurant or this or that new kids area, not kids area, I call them kids now, my goodness. It's clubbing 20-something area right over by the Rainforest Cafe.
Oh, where it used to be, Level Up, it's like video games and drinking. And
every time I come. Now, that was interesting to me because they said that younger people generally don't gamble. They found that it was the bottle service, the club, the atmosphere, that kind of thing. And so they're trying. That was part of the reason for making that feel less like a gambling area, more like a kind of a.
It's tricky, man. We see we're just now kind of getting out of our slow season, but those 4 to 5 months of the year they're dominated by the day and night clubs. The casino's quiet unless there's a convention in town.
Really.
People take a lot of time off work.
Okay.
Showrooms will close for a month at a time.
Really?
Yeah. Restaurants will close for 3 weeks at a time.
So these clubs are really, really.
And even that's a crapshoot too, just because there's, like you said, the city adapts so fast that you got the hot nightclub for one club season,
right?
And then another casino comes in and goes, okay, now we got to beat that one,
right?
And then so even that's a crapshoot. You could have the hottest nightclub in town for a summer.
Right.
And by the next summer, nobody wants to go to your club, so they're having to renovate that and spend millions of dollars.
Change that, man.
It's weird,
man.
And with the Instagram and social media culture that we have and that kind of demographic, that's really all it's about. It's like I got bottle service in the coolest nightclub in Vegas.
Right.
Not as much about am I really having a good time.
Am I having any fun?
Because let's be honest, nobody's having fun.
No.
Spending $2,000 a bottle and not being able to have a conversation with a beautiful person next to them. Nobody's having fun with that.
Can't hear.
It's way more fun when the craps table's hot.
Exactly.
And you're playing a great game and you got drinks coming in and everybody's having a good. That's way more fun.
That's a really good point.
That's way more fun. I've never had a genuinely sustainably good night at a nightclub. I try to play back my Rolodex of on my top 5 best nights in town. a nightclub never makes the list because you either are blacked out and you can't remember it.
Okay.
Or it's just like we just spent way too much
We're
money.
just doing all this money trying to get a picture.
Yeah.
What would make your top 5 best nights in town?
I was talking about this the other night. We went to the Westgate, which is the old Hilton.
Okay.
Down at the end of the strip, right before Stratosphere. And I was with a buddy, and we go in there, and he's a degenerate gambler. He can't help himself. We were driving to a recording studio up the street, and he goes, I gotta use the restroom. Let's just go in here. We pull in. I go to the restroom. I come out. He's at the roulette table. And he was the one who had to use the restroom. So we're at the roulette table, and he's already down like 150. We've been in there for 5 minutes.
Right.
And I went, come on, man, we gotta go. He's like, come on, just one more. So he puts 100 on black, and it hits.
All right.
And okay, all right, now you're even. Let's get out of here. He goes, no, let's just ride it out. Hits again. He moved it twice and rotated from black to red and red to black. And he only did that twice. And he hit 11 straight in a row, just rolling over the $100 bet each time.
Lord.
It was incredible. I've never seen anything like it. And that type of rush of like the tables going nuts.
Everyone's going crazy.
We're all high-fiving, going crazy. I'm making money. At this point, half the table's just putting money on whatever he's putting it on. And I saw something similar with craps before. My buddy won like 10 grand just on a really, really hot craps table.
Going.
You know, those nights are the funnest. And then you get like a couple downtown where you just do a little pub crawl from one end to the other.
Absolutely.
And that's but it's downtown. Downtown's a whole different energy.
It's definitely, yeah.
It's a little bit more like Bourbon Street-ish.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. That's always, every time I go down there, it just feels like a little more honky tonk, a little more old school fun.
If you get off of the actual Fremont Street strip, you're liable to run into like used heroin needles and other things. But it's kind of got this cool little authentic feel. You know what I mean? Which is great.
The culture of it.
Exactly.
Well, man, I can't thank you enough for taking the time. I know you got to get out and get work in there, and it's been an amazing week. Thanks for having us back.
Man. We always love having you.
Oh my goodness, it's the week I look forward to the most, and I'll try to behave one more night.
Please, I'm begging you, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, greetings from Somerville. Please rate, review us on iTunes, follow us, tell a friend, and we thank you so much for listening. Talk to you next time.